Hey guys, what's up? This is Tony from alphapursuits.com. In this video, we are going to talk about why TAK could be a good stock for the wheel options strategy. Stay tuned. So as always, we will start with fundamental analysis. There are a couple of websites that I use for fundamental analysis. One is seekingalpha.com and the other one is financial visualizations, so finviz.com. And I actually have subscription to seekingalpha.com, which allows me to read all these articles that already downloaded hard work for me in terms of analyzing the company and also point out what's going on. So looking at one of the most recent analysis article, as you can see, this article has already summarized some of the key competitors and what's going on with revenue wise and what kind of drug development they have in the pipeline. And it seems that Takeda seems to also involve in COVID-19 vaccine development and treatment development. So Takeda is really a wide range. It is very diversified pharmaceutical company, just like some of its competitors, for example, Pfizer. Looking at some of the data from finviz.com, as you can see, book for share is 12.55, and that's not too far from where the stock price is right now. And as you can see, that there's not too much analysts really looking at this company, seems like, based on what's shown here. And also there's no insider buying, insider selling. So the data for the company isn't great, but at the same time, when we look at some of these analysis articles, it seems to be a pretty good company. Now let's take a look at technical analysis. So looking at the longer trend line here, as we can see, 12.43 seems to be the low point. And I have already drawn a long-term support and resistance line, and it seems around 16, 17 would be a pretty strong long-term support and resistance line based on the weekly chart. And looking at the daily, right now it is actually pretty close to the $17 support and resistance line. So this could be a nice strike point to get into, and we'll take a look at the option chain in a little bit. But looking at the money flow, MACD, and RSI, there seems to be a bit of downtrend, which correspond to what we are seeing with the price here. And money flow, which also considers volume, it has been pretty steady. So what we are trying to do here is obviously, we don't want the price to breach the support and resistance line, and we want to really predefine, okay, if it goes way too down, we should get out. So what would that price point be? And this is one of the reasons why we draw this line, so that we know, okay, if it reaches to 16, it already breached to support and resistance line, probably we should get out. Or maybe we can also even say, okay, if it goes all the way down to 12, I'm really in for the long term, so I don't really care if it goes down even to 12, and that could be your personal support and resistance line. So before we even get in, we should really predefine when we want to get out. But as far as the entry point, I'm thinking 16, maybe 17 will be a nice entry point strike. So obviously this is a higher price stock than the ones that we typically look at, which are typically below $10. And so the return of investment is a little bit lower. For example, if we do decide to get in at around 50 cents for $16 strike, the return is going to be about 3% after 66 days, so about 2 months. So if you annualize that, that would be 3 times 6, so that's about 18% annualized. It's a much lower return compared to the ones that we typically trade, obviously. If we do go a little bit shorter, in this case, it will be about half of that if we manage to gain about 0.25. So instead of 3%, it will be 1.5, which is, if we calculate, annualize it, it's essentially pretty much the same. So that's the kind of return that we're looking at. But looking at the support and resistance line, since it's pretty steady, and if you have a margin account, obviously the calculation will be substantially different because you are not going to need to put down 1,600 like this cash secured account. So that's something to consider. So that's it for this time. If you like the video, please give it a thumb up and please subscribe so that you get notification for the next video that I'll be creating. And I will see you in the next video.